Good morning.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Church at Home.
We've definitely got a different vibe going.
Cool, yeah.
Hello. Anyway, it's good to be here with you today, even if Jacob doesn't seem that excited about it. And if it's your first time, make sure that you say hey in the comments because we are genuinely excited to see you and
We are.
a little bit about
I
you.
just love you guys so much. And please do say hello. We love meeting new people, whether it's online or in person. And if you wanted to get a little bit more involved, either online or in person,
Either way.
stay tuned because there is a church that meets in Seaford, Victoria. So if you're in the area, we would love to meet you in person, but that doesn't mean we don't want to see you right now online.
And in the comments and all
Everywhere.
the things. And there's heaps of ways to get involved if you can, from table tennis to life groups to worship nights and so much more. Those are not your only options. It's not like
That's
table
fine.
tennis or nothing. There are lots of other options. Just a
That's
few
a
of them.
ride or die table
Big
tennis. Some people probably, they're just here, no, done. No, say no more.
table tennis,
I mean,
done.
done.
No,
Let's
that
do
is
that.
awesome.
It's my one thing.
If you do want to connect in and find out some other options, you can just hit the connect with us button at the link or head to the Gateway app.
So true.
It's excellent.
Yeah. I love being in community here. It just feels right.
You're right, it does.
You know, it's my
So
my
beautiful.
people.
Yeah.
Little family.
It is family. You like the weird cousin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is the weird whatever you want.
The
whatever
weird
you need.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also like the favourite.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they can sort of get away with everything.
A little bit of extra, yeah.
Yeah,
you're
like
right.
who else could say this on Church at Home?
so
What did
true.
you think?
Yeah.
What did you think I was going to say though? Type it in the comments. Maybe don't.
Yeah, we'll see.
Jeez. Especially when you're needing some extra support, we're both around. If you need lots of support, if you need humour support,
Humour support.
I don't know. I'll try to support in the best way I can. Give you high fives. But if you do want people to actually get around you, myself included,
Yep.
and celebrate the wins as
Yep.
well, we'd love to do that for you today through prayer. Because prayer is huge at Gateway. We love it. And let us know how we can celebrate with you or support you through whatever you're going through right now. Just hit that get prayer button at the link or submit your prayer request through our app and we would love to just pray alongside you.
Love that, Jacob. Hey, look, we've been talking the last, couple of weeks about Camp No Fear. Woo! For you, those of you who don't know what Camp No Fear is, it is woo. You have to woo after we say it. That's a rule at church. It's a youth camp that we run annually for our high school age young people,
Yeah.
and we haven't been able to run it the last couple of years, but we went on it a couple of weeks ago, and gosh, it was amazing.
It was great.
And it just made me think about, when talking about generosity this morning and being selfless, this whole theme and series, I was really inspired by, the 80 or so leaders that came away to serve the young people on camp. Because not only did they take a week off work,
Yeah.
give up their time, probably a lot of them had families, they gave up time with their families, they paid their way to be there. And a lot of them even went beyond that and bought things for their cabin or for the other people, that they were supporting on camp. And for me, that was such a huge sacrifice that they made of time, of money, of wages, in order just to bless young people. And I think, you were on camp as well, and
Yeah, it's great.
God really blessed that. It was incredible, and we were able to see the benefits of that. But for me, that just really sums up what generosity is. It's sacrificing something that you want for yourself in order to bless someone else.
Yeah.
And I just think that was so inspiring and so amazing. So if you're inspired by that this morning and you would love to maybe give up something that you want in order to bless someone else, you can do that through Gateway. There's so many different ways that Gateway blesses the community. If you want to do that this morning, you can do that via the details or you can hit the heart on our app.
Well said.
Thank you.
You're great.
Thank you. It's true.
On that note, hey, this morning we are continuing our new series, Selfless, with Pastor Mark.
Yes.
Marcy smashed it. Marcy really set the bar.
She did.
Pretty high
There's
last week.
no pressure, Mark, but you really have to nail this.
But Mark is talking. It's gonna be a really powerful message.
Yeah.
It's right up Mark's alley. He's talking about being courageous in service.
And he's the
So-
perfect person to speak on that. He is amazing at that.
He's one of the most servant-hearted guys.
I genuinely cannot wait. But we know it's going to be good. Before we jump into that, let's worship.
Let's do it.
Let's go, Gateway. There's a lot of noise going round in the world. There's a lot of people trying to be heard.
There's no greater love I could ever know. There is nothing else that my heart adores. Jesus, I believe you're the only way. Life belongs to you, I'm completely yours. I'm following you, I'm following you. Nothing else we'll ever do, ever do. I'm following you, I'm following you. I'm laying it all down. I fall on my knees and I surrender. Make me a new thing. Wash away the old just like a river. Take my faults, take my tears, take my doubts and my fears. I give them all to you. I'm doing it your way. I'm lifting my hands and I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I believe you died and you rose again. You were turned away, you took every sin. Brought me out of darkness and into light. Jesus, you're my savior, you're my king. I'm following you, I'm following you. Nothing else we'll ever do, ever do. I'm following you, I'm following you. I'm laying it all down. I fall on my knees and I surrender. Make me a new thing. Wash away the old just like a river. Take my faults, take my tears and my doubts and my fears. I give them all to you. I'm doing it your way. I'm lifting my hands and I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. All my life I will worship you. All my life I will worship you. All my life I will worship you. You alone are good. All my life I will worship you. All my life I will worship you. All my life I will worship you. You alone are good. You are good. It all down. On my knees and I surrender. Make me a new thing. Wash away the old just like a river. Take my faults, take my tears, take my doubts and my fears. I give them all to you. I'm doing it your way. I'm lifting my hands and I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. You alone are good.
Hello. How would other people describe you? How would other people describe you? Some may describe you as self-aware, self-made, self-assured, or self-assertive. Others may describe you as self-obsessed, self-pleasing, self-indulgent, or self-promoting. A survey of teenagers revealed that 54% of them want to be a celebrity. So that's how they would like to be known going forward. But if a survey was taken of all of us, young and old, it would probably reveal that a high percentage of us want to be the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And this is not a new phenomenon. It's been around at least since I was a little boy.
No, you sucker. Wait. Is this on close? You tell, is it live? Right now. Everybody stop talking now. Attention. I told you, all of my critics, I told you all that I was the greatest of all time when I beat Sonny Liston. I told you today I'm still the greatest of all time. Never again defeat me. Never again say that I'm going to be defeated. Never again make me the underdog until I'm about 50 years old. Right. Then you might get me.
I suggest it is now part of our Aussie culture too. It's in our cultural DNA. It's just that we don't express it as loudly as some of our North American friends do. But a Christ follower, a disciple of Jesus, follows an entirely different way of living that is countercultural. This is because the one they follow says, if anyone wants to follow after me, he must deny himself, take up his cross, and keep following me. Therefore, self-obsession, self-pleasing, self-indulgence or self-promotion is crucified, flattened, removed from the menu. Jesus said to his mates, the disciples, do you want to stand out? Then step down. Be a servant. If you puff yourself up, you'll get the wind knocked out of you. But if you're content to simply be yourself, your life will count for plenty. Therefore, serving others reflects who we are, not just what we do. Again, how would other people describe you? Really? The Apostle Luke describes an amazing woman called Tabitha as a believer who was always doing kind things for others, especially for the poor. Tabitha wasn't into self-promotion, so she closed down her Instagram page because she was focused on being selfless. So how do we become a faithful servant? Here's an example from the Bible that can inspire you as you choose to develop an attitude of becoming selfless. It's a Thursday night, just before the Passover. There's a secret meeting happening in the upper room. Jesus, who knows what's about to happen to him, is sitting there with his disciples. In this sacred window in time, when Jesus is about to go to his sacrificial death, what do his disciples do? They have an argument about which one of them is the GOAT. Luke records that within minutes they were bickering over who of them would end up the greatest. Who will be the greatest of all time? Go figure. Jesus tiredly looks around the supper table and sees proud hearts and dusty, dirty feet. So what does he do? John records, so he got up from the supper table, set aside his robe, and put on an apron. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the feet of the disciples, drying them with his apron. This was a scandalous act because only a slave or a servant would do this lowly, menial task. Who is this Jesus? Who is the Son of God who serves others? Who is he? So, Christ follower, how do you become great? you carry an apron. Selfless instead of self-promotion. As Jesus reminded his disciples yet again, who would you rather be? The one who eats the dinner or the one who serves the dinner? You'd rather eat and be served, right? But I've taken my place among you as the one who serves. So, Christ follower, how do you become great in the kingdom of God? You choose selfless serving. You choose to serve others in various ways within your family, your faith community, your friendship circles, your workplace, your school, college or university, your sports and recreation clubs, and within your local retirement villages, local hospitals and local council projects. Recently, British politician Michael Gove stood up in British Parliament and stated a fact that many secular politicians are fully aware of. Gove simply pointed out that the reality of Christian mission in today's churches is a story of thousands of quiet kindnesses. He goes on to say, in many of our most disadvantaged communities, it is the churches that provide warmth, food, friendship, and support for individuals who have fallen on the worst of times. And funny enough, not one politician shouted him down. Selfless serving can make an impact at all levels of our culture. So, Christ follower, let me take you back to that simple but profound question. How would other people describe you? Really? Here's some tips about building your spiritual muscles through choosing to be faithful in serving others. First tip, forget this self-promotion obsession. Be countercultural. Let God be your promoter. The Apostle Peter reminded the early Christ followers to be content with who you are and don't put on airs. God's strong hand is on you. He'll promote you at the right time. Live carefully before God. He is most careful with you. Be a faithful servant. Have a selfless attitude. And God will take care of your promotions in all areas of your life. Second tip. Sometimes you will be treated like a servant. Shock, horror, I know. I have the joy over the decades around Gateway. Occasionally they ask me, could I man one of our barbecue tables for when we have various events around Gateway, as many of you have done over the decades too. I love doing it because my specialty is snags, sausages. I'm just so good at cooking them. And it's funny, my wife will not let me cook on the barbecue at home. And even my brother-in-laws over the decades will not let me cook on their barbecues when we have family events. I don't understand why. Because, you see, I have 4 varieties of cooking snags on the barbecue. And I'm very proud of them. My snags end up either black, very black, midnight black, or charcoal black. How's that for variety? One time, I remember in last so many years, we were having a big event out in our Gateway Church car park, and there were hundreds of people having a great time, and they brought their guests, and everyone's eating and drinking and enjoying it all. And the crew said, Mark, can you man the barbecue for a while? I said, oh, no problems. I loved it because I get to express myself through the way I cook the snags. And they said, oh, when you're having a break from the barbecues and others are taking over, can you go around and just empty the bins around the place? I said, yeah, no problems. No job too big, no job too small. And so there were hundreds of you sitting around enjoying yourselves and eating and drinking, as I said, having great conversations. And So I went around and started emptying the bins. And actually, if I'm being transparent, I love it because you see, I'm supposed to be quietly serving and acting like a servant. But when you do something in public like that and emptying bins, everyone comes up to you and goes, "Oh, good job, Mark. You're so humble, Mark. Thank you, Mark," whatever. And I said, "Yeah, no problem. It's great." But I remember one point I was going around and went up to a bin and it was overflowing, absolutely overflowing, and near where everyone was sitting, where all of you were sitting having a great time. And this bin was overflowing and there were coffee cups on the concrete and plastic water bottles and so on, which is fine. And so I had an empty gar bag ready to put into the bin and there was all the stuff on the ground. So I thought, first I'll pick up the stuff that overflowed from this bin. The bin was just chockers overflowing. So I filled up, started putting into the new gar bag all the cups and bottles and everything on the ground and then I put that aside, said, okay, now I'll pull out the overflowing gar bag from the bin and put the new one in. And so as I did that, a few more bottles and cups fell out. It was just chockers. I'm pulling it out, concentrating, and some more fell out. I thought, oh, no problems. I'll pick them up at the end. And as I picked it up, it's still overflowing. I thought, oh, yep, no worries, pull it out. A person walked up with 2 coffee cups. And they walked up and they stood right there and they looked at me and I looked at them and said, "Oh, g'day." And then they looked back at me and they looked at the overflowing bin and they looked at me and they looked at the overflowing bin and they just chucked their empty coffee cups on top of the overflowing bin and walked off. And the 2 cups naturally fell over to the side onto the rest and fell down. So I put the bin down, thought, oh, okay, I better clean this all up. Now, here's me being transparent. I was really ticked off. Really ticked off. Now, why was I so ticked off, even though I'm smiling to everybody and waving? Was it because I had to get down and pick up the empty plastic water bottles and the coffee cups? No, not at all. I mean, I had another bag ready to fill it. No problem. It's only a 10-second job. So why was I so ticked off inside? I was really ticked off, big time, because I was serving and I was treated like a servant. How dare they treat me like I'm a servant when I'm serving? What the? Couldn't believe it. So I remember complaining to Sally, my wife, about it. And Sally's a pastor, or one of our pastors on the team and a counsellor and so on. And she's so empathetic that when I complained to her about being treated like a servant, she just looked at me with loving eyes and that empathy that a pastoral person has, and looks at me and says gently, "Toughen up, princess." I thought, oh, what is that about? I think she's called me also a souffle or something. So I remember saying to her only a little while ago, reminding her of a time when I was treated like a servant. And she looked at me and she just laughed and she goes, "You're a pastor. That's what you're meant to do." So I need to remember I'm a servant. I need to learn to be self-forgetful. The tip is, sometimes you will be treated like a servant if you want to serve others. And when that happens, avoid Sally. Believe me. The third and last tip is the most important skill a follower of Jesus brings when they step into their local place of worship. They must bring soft eyes. The ability to look deeper than what you first see. The ability to look deeper than what you first see. If a Christ follower brings a consumer, self-focused, hard eyes mindset when he or she walks into their local place of worship, they can easily miss the little gold nuggets that are placed all around them. They must bring an ability to look deeper than what they first see. If a Christ follower walks in with soft eyes, they see a wide range of selfless acts quietly happening all around them. They've gained the ability to look deeper than what they first saw when they walked past our car parkers. The hard eyes miss it. The soft eyes are inspired by it and are full of gratitude for being on the receiving end of this chain of selfless servants. They experience many, many quiet kindnesses being extended to them week after week, year after year, by a community of selfless, faithful servants, some of whom have been here for hours before the first guests drive in. Hardened eyes see serving others as an inconvenience, an interruption, an option. A selfless Christ follower has soft eyes. They see the opportunity to serve others within their faith community and the wider community as a privilege. They see the need and they respond. It's a reflex action because they have the same attitude as Jesus, and therefore their eyes are soft. Our faithful Gateway guys Team Gateway guys are challenging all of us this month to have a go at different Team Gateway roles. There's a have a go QR code on the Gateway app for you to check out. Come and join one of our amazing selfless teams as they faithfully serve to provide hundreds of quiet kindnesses throughout each week around Gateway and throughout the wider community. And Jesus has given you the best tip. Do you want to stand out? As he says, then step down. Be a servant. May you look deeper than what you first see and choose to extend quiet kindnesses throughout this week. See you again.
Turning over tables and calling for return to our lives upon the altar, the things we did at first. You're clearing out the temple and cleaning out the dirt, for we are your territory, Lord, we are your church. We are your people, you are our God. We are your temple, make us holy like you are. See a holy nation, a flock to consecrate, a chosen generation, a people called to pray. So help us, God, to please you where only you can see. For every moment matters in eternity. We are your people, and you are our God. We are your temple, make us holy like you are. We are your children, you set us apart. And God, for your glory, us a place where you delight to dwell. May we heed your hand's correction. Oh Lord, our shepherd, you do all things well. Your love as firm as it is tender. Your law is perfect and your judgment's true. As we run to resurrender, you will restore what we return to you. You are restoring as we yield anew. And we are your people, and you are our God. We are your temple, make us holy like you are. We are your children, you've set us apart. And God, for your glory, make us holy like you are. Make us holy like you are. If you're calling, we're coming. We're not walking, we're running. God, we need resurrender. So we resurrender. If you're calling, we're coming. We're not walking, we're running. God, we need resurrender. So we resurrender. If you're calling, we're coming. We're not walking, we're running. God, we need resurrender. So we resurrender. If you're calling, we're coming. We're not walking, we're running. God, we need resurrender. So we resurrender. Oh, we resurrender. We And we are your people, and you are our God. We are your temple, make us holy like you are. We are your children, you set us apart. And God, for your glory, make us holy. If you're calling, we're coming. We're not walking, we're running. And God, we need resurrender. So we resurrender. If you're calling, we're coming. We're not walking, we're running. God, we need resurrender. So we resurrender.
That was so. Thank you so much, Mark.
Yeah.
For another just brilliant message, and he really did hit the nail on the head. Called it. Yeah, you know, you always know he's gonna come up with a great story.
Yes.
Such like a thumbprint of Mark.
Yes.
He was like just like sends it with that. Yeah. And he'll challenge you, but you'll walk away feeling encouraged,
It's so true.
even though it's a challenge.
Yes, he's
You know?
good at that actually. He's subtle.
Yeah.
I
Well,
love
I'm
it.
onto you though. I'm onto you, Mark.
We know what you're doing,
I'm feeling encouraged, but I'm seeing what you're
but
doing.
also challenged. Hey, and if you want to unpack this message further, then get yourself into a life group if you're not already.
True.
It's a great way to meet with others and to go just a bit deeper, get a bit meatier, get into it, ask those questions.
Yeah. Literally.
About how you're feeling encouraged or challenged.
True.
All the things. And you can do that through the Next Steps part of the app or the Connect With Us form with the link.
Yeah. And just a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Lots of fun.
Just good people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get to
Nice
chat.
food.
Hang out. Yeah. We do hot chocolates at ours.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other day we had I don't know, for some reason we had a good, I don't know, like 15, 16 people. Everybody invited somebody.
Ah.
And we had like almost 20 people.
That's a lot of hot chocolate.
So many hot chocolates. I can only make one at a time.
Oh, gosh.
It was really good though.
Logistical night.
Oh yeah, I was
But
like,
also a life group win.
it was like one of those times where you're just grateful you have those spare mugs. It's like, yeah, paid off.
It's one of those times.
Finally. Anyway, just the things I think.
So happy for you.
Everybody's like, oh, what do you think about the message? And I'm like, wow, look how many mugs we've got.
We nailed it.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Make sure you do actually connect into one of those if you're not already. And I always feel like the teaching becomes more real to me as well. I've had the chance to get in touch with the life group. It's like I hear it, but then like I understand it even more when you get to discuss it.
I love it.
Yeah, it's cool.
And hey, before we go, we talked about it before, but do not forget to register or register someone you know for Camp No Fear 2024 and use the discount code early24 because you get $50 off.
All lowercase early 24. $50.
Yeah. For only one more week. So get to it. You don't want to miss out. We guarantee, personal guarantee here, Jacob and Tree, it will be amazing. So you can do that from the Gateway app or by heading to campnofear.com.
Might as well, and if you're when in doubt, just sign up. And then if you can't go, just worry about it later.
Yeah, that's future use.
That's done.
Just give it to someone else.
But trust us, you will actually want to be there. It's
100%.
life-changing.
Yeah.
But for now, have a great week. Keen to see you next Sunday already, 10 a.m. for church at home.
When I look back, I can see your hand all over my past. Even in the times I'd rather forget, I just can't believe you'd love me like that, love me like that. You never let go. Thought I was alone, now I know you were close. I can see it now, you were bringing me home. I just can't believe you'd love me like that, love me like that. Oh, every day gets better when I'm walking with you. Oh, you're my hope forever, what a beautiful view. I will give you praise for the things you've done, and every single way that you've shown me love. God, you have only just begun, so come on, there's so much better to come. So much better to come. So much better to come. When I look back, I can see your hand all over my past. Even in the times I'd rather forget, I just can't believe you'd love me like that, love me like that. You never let go. Thought I was alone, now I know you were close. I can see it now, you were bringing me home. I just can't believe you'd love me like that, love me like that. Oh, every day gets better when I'm walking with you. Oh, you're my hope forever, what a beautiful view. I will give you praise for the things you've done, and every single way that you've shown me love. God, you have only just begun, so come on, there's so much better to come. So much better to come. So much better to come. You never left me. You always helped me. Got through the fire. I find my strength when I'm walking beside you. You never left me. You always helped me. through the fire. I find my strength when I'm walking beside you. I will give you praise for the things you've done. And every single way that you've shown me love. God, you have only just begun. So come on, there's so much better to come. So much better to come.
This could be the best take ever.
Could be.
This could be the one.
Could be. Or it could be a complete disaster. Who knows?
Somewhere in the middle. All right. Let's go.